Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by today. We're at the kitchen table with some of my cacti. So I want to go over a little video on, what is cactus? What is it? It's a big ball of water. So we're going to go over some tips on different types of cacti I have and the watering for these little fellas because they're really, really easy. These are not like regular succulents. So I have succulents outside and a lot of them, which this is like a succulent, an aloe type succulent. My jades over there, which I'll go get real quick, they are a succulent. So these are succulent types, which these require a little different care than these ball cacti. So this is a true succulent, like this is a succulent. These are true cacti. And you can see that difference because cacti is like a ball. It's like a big ball. And then these succulents have like little fleshy leaves filled with water. So not all succulents are cacti, but all cacti are succulents, because succulents are filled with water and so are cacti. So if that makes sense to you guys, a little twister for you. But we're going to go over just some different types of things, because when I first got into succulents, it was kind of tough. I was treating them like a regular plant. And that's the first thing you want to get out of your head is do not treat these like a regular plant. Try to think that way. And try to think of these like a little balloon of water, like a water balloon. If that water balloon is all the way filled with that water and you go ahead and water, well, what's going to happen? It's going to explode, right? So if these are full and they're plump, your little cacti that you're getting, don't water. Wait another couple of weeks and then you can go ahead and douse that pot all the way through. Let it soak on a little tray for about 10 minutes. I water all my plants that way and then you can discard that extra water that's in that tray. So they require a good watering, but infrequently, just like the succulents. Infrequent waterings, but a good douse at once. Now this is a San Pedro cacti I got from a friend a while ago, which you can see how much it's grown. He cut it, just cut his succulent, his cacti in half, and he gave it to me. So I let that end dry out a little bit, and then stuck it in some dry soil, and it started growing roots. And this is what I got out of it, you guys. And it's been about 8 months since I've been growing this. This San Pedro, I literally only water once every 2 months. I forget about it. It gets ignored underneath my succulent cart. No water for this little guy because he's such a big ball of cactus and he doesn't use a lot of energy up. You can kind of feel where around the spines, he's only got spines like on the little 4 edges of them. So you can kind of feel in between him and feel if he needs water or not. These are a little tougher because they have spines on them. This is a little thimble cacti, which I can tell doesn't need water because these don't hurt these spines. You can see how they grow from the middle. So all cacti basically grows from the center and then sprouts out. So it grows from the middle, goes up, and then creates foliage to go out on the side. And that's how you get all this cacti to grow. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, growing from the top. So when you have a fake flower in there, which this is a real flower, you can see the pretty little girl coming up. She's going to be nice and pink. She's purple now. So happy. I can't wait to show that to you guys. And then this is a fake flower. So if you see hot glue on the bottom of your flowers and it looks like hot glue, that's a fake flower and it needs to be removed because in my opinion, I remove all these fake flowers. I don't know why they put fake flowers on cactus because they do shoot flowers out themselves. Now, this has pretty pink purple flowers, purplish pink flowers that shoot out all around this top part. So why would you glue that on there, Well, they did. And look at all them spines going towards that hot glue. These are straight. And you can see how wumpy this grew. See this side's not growing? See how this side's growing? Because as that middle grows and pushes down to the side, this can't go nowhere. This cannot expand because of the hot glue that's on there. Now I plucked as much off as I could with a little flathead screwdriver and a little pair of tweezers, but you don't want to pluck too much because you're going to end up taking these little nodes off, which I noticed started, loosening as I was prying this glue up. I was going underneath and just prying it up little by little, taking piece by piece off and trying to get as much out of there as I could. Well, now what's starting to happen is this hot glue is pushing off of the spines. So it's separating itself from the cactus. And this is eventually going to fall off itself, just like this one did. And now we're starting to catch up. That fake flower was glued in the center here, not off to the side. So it was glued dead middle. Now, succulents grow from cactus grows from the center. I can't talk today. Cactus grows from the center. So if you cover that center with hot glue, you're stopping that cactus from growing. So he couldn't grow for 2 years. I've had this one for 2 years. This is a Mammillaria compressa. This is a Mammillaria Thimble-cactus. So a Mammillaria gracilis fragilis. This is a Mammillaria Mystak, M-Y-S-T-A-K. And then this is the Mammillaria compressa. This isn't a Mammillaria. This is a Notocactus, which was the old name. I don't know the new name, but the old name was a Notocactus Uebelmannianus. I think that's how you say it. I will post down in the description all the names to these so you guys know. And because they're really hard to say. They're fun to try to pronounce. But you can see how that's a real flower. And there's no stalling out. This plant is perfectly round, no damage at all. This flower was in the center, which stopped this succulent cacti plant from growing. Now, it's been 2 years that she's caught up, but I got the hot glue off. And if you kind of follow my finger all the way around, evenly around that white part, you can see where those damaged spines were that I took off of there. See all that? Well, now she's starting to heal herself, and all that center growth is the way she's supposed to look. She's supposed to look like that all over, but she couldn't grow because, you know, she had that flower right in the center of her. So that's really important with the fake flowers, you guys. And these produce beautiful, beautiful flowers themselves. Pink, pink, and pink. This one's yellow. These are little petite yellow flowers, and this little thimble cactus clumps all over the place. So these little clumpy things, these little babies, they push off all over the place, which in turn, these little babies will fall off themselves or turn into big plants themselves and then push out babies themselves too. So they just keep clumping and clumping and clumping, and that's why I love this little thimble, Mammillaria gracilis fragilis. I love that name. And they really don't require a lot of water, you guys. So I only water these maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks in the summertime. And then in the winter, they're sleeping. So most succulents and cacti are sleeping, depending on which ones you have. Now these definitely do sleep, the ones I have, in the winter time. So they go dormant. It's like a dormancy period. And in that period, you do not want to water that much, because what's going to happen is you're going to overwater and they're just going to become really yucky and explode on you. So they're not really growing in the winter. You only want to water, check on them once a month, maybe even past once a month, you know, go 6 weeks instead of 4. You know, if you're noticing they're still plump by then, and then go check them again. If they look a little deflated on the bottom in the winter time, you know it's okay to go ahead and water. Now, very, very infrequently in the winter. In the summer, you might notice you might have to water every 2 weeks or so, depending on how bad your climate is. So I know starting June, July, and August, especially July and August here in Central Florida, Zone 9B, our climate gets tough. My succulents struggle, my plants struggle. I have to get my growing in right now. Today's April 1st, and I'm so happy that my plants are producing outside. I have a lot of watermelon and stuff, tomatoes, but I need to get my growing in now because the heat of the summer is coming, and my succulents are going to feel that once it comes, and they're going to be using a lot of energy, using a lot of water from being so hot out. So they might need a little more frequent waterings than you would notice in April, May. So just keep an eye on that and use a Miracle Grow just to make it easy on you. I sometimes mix my own soil, which can be really tough if you're not adding enough perlite, enough sand, enough peat moss, whatever you got going on in there. It's got to be a really well draining soil with sand in it and a lot of perlite, a good amount of perlite. So instead of continuing to make mine, where I have to adjust that soil sometimes, either add soil because I put too much perlite in during the winter or vice versa. I just go with a regular potting soil for succulents, cacti, and palms, citrus palms. It's like a little bag, succulent soil bag. It says great for succulents on it. It's a little Miracle Grow potting mix bag. And that's the one you want. It's like $6 in Lowe's, give or take a few bucks, and a few cents. And that's all I use for these guys. The potting mix, not the garden soil, you guys, because that garden soil is so muddy and heavy. For your pots, you want nice potting soil for these. Well draining. I don't top dress any of my succulents and cacti just because I do live in a really humid climate, and any water that's in this soil or any moisture around, these plants are going to suck up. So that top dressing ends up creating a lot of moisture. It holds that moisture in that soil a lot longer for me than when I don't have it on there. So usually I'll just sprinkle a little bit of perlite on top, just like you see here. And that is my top dressing. Now this makes a mess sometimes when you go ahead and water, but it keeps my plants healthy. So I rather clean the mess and sweep up some perlite than my plants ratting out on me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it just helps you to take care of your succulents. They need at least 8 hours, succulents and cacti. I always call my real cacti succulents, you guys, so I apologize for that. But if you need any help on anything I've discussed today or anything else, just comment below. I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much for coming by, you guys. I'm so happy to see you, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time out in the garden. Bye-bye.